নমস্কার, সময় বাংলা সংবাদে আপনাদের স্বাগত। আপনাদের সাথে আমি প্রীতি। দেখে নেব আজকের বিশেষ সংবাদ। রয়্যাল একাডেমিতে ইন্টার স্কুল ডিবেট কম্পিটিশন। কাউন্সিল ফর দ্য ইন্ডিয়ান স্কুল সার্টিফিকেট এক্সামিনেশন আয়োজিত ফ্র্যাঙ্ক অ্যান্টনি মেমোরিয়াল অল ইন্ডিয়া ইন্টার স্কুল ডিবেট কম্পিটিশন 2026-এর ক্যাটাগরি 1 প্রিলিমিনারি স্টেজের বিতর্ক প্রতিযোগিতা অনুষ্ঠিত হল শুক্রবার রয়্যাল একাডেমি স্কুলে। অংশগ্রহণ করেছিল সেন্ট অ্যাগনেস স্কুল, বিদ্যাসাগর শিশু নিকেতন ও শ্রী অরবিন্দ বিদ্যাভবন স্কুলের একাদশ ও দ্বাদশ শ্রেণীর ছাত্রছাত্রীরা। প্রতিটি স্কুলের একটি দল প্রতিযোগিতায় অংশগ্রহণ করে। প্রতিযোগিতার বিচারক ছিলেন বিদ্যাসাগর বিশ্ববিদ্যালয়ের ইংরেজি বিভাগের গবেষক ঐশ্বর্য ব্যানার্জি, স্নেহা সাহু ও সুনীতি মাইতি। মডারেটর ছিলেন গোদাপিয়াশাল চারুপালা বালিকা বিদ্যালয়ের সহ শিক্ষিকা তনুশ্রী ভট্টাচার্য। প্রতিযোগিতার প্রথম বক্তা হয়েছে বিদ্যাসাগর শিশু নিকেতনের ছাত্রী অহনা পাল, দ্বিতীয় বক্তা হয়েছে সেন্ট অ্যাগনেস স্কুলের ছাত্রী ঈশানভী উপাধ্যায়। বিজয়ী হয়েছে বিদ্যাসাগর শিশু নিকেতন এবং দ্বিতীয় স্থান পেয়েছে সেন্ট অ্যাগনেস স্কুল। রয়্যাল একাডেমি স্কুলের অধ্যক্ষ সত্যব্রত দলুই জানান, প্রিলিমিনারি স্টেজের বিজয়ী স্কুল ও দ্বিতীয় স্থানাধিকারী স্কুল পরবর্তী পর্যায়ের প্রতিযোগিতায় অংশগ্রহণ করবে। প্রতিযোগিতায় প্রথম স্থানাধিকারী বক্তা, দ্বিতীয় স্থানাধিকারী বক্তা, বিজয়ী দল ও দ্বিতীয় স্থানাধিকারী দলকে মেধা শংসাপত্র দেন অধ্যক্ষ সত্যব্রত দলুই, অসীম বসু, বিচারকগণ এবং মডারেটর। অংশগ্রহণকারী স্কুলগুলি থেকে আগত শিক্ষক শিক্ষিকাদের পুষ্পস্তবক ও স্মারক দিয়ে সম্বর্ধনা জানান অধ্যক্ষ।
Are mostly developed countries that have more industries, and therefore we can understand that if they are more industrialized and they are more developed, they have the resources that they can utilize in reducing the pollution, which they are not doing. Therefore they must be checked, their actions and the way they are dealing with the pollution must be checked by penalizing them, because if the economy is growing, if they are getting money, then why should they not pay the money for it? Because the countries, the penalties that they are paying, that can be transferred to developing and the underdeveloped countries so that they may deal with their pollution. In stating that, we can also think about it like this: when a country is polluted,
I shall be speaking in the opposition of the motion. Now, let's focus on the biggest fallacy of the statement. Why are we reducing the term penalties simply to capital? Penalties can mean a lot of different things. First of all, I would like to stress on the very basic objective of ecology, that pollution mostly comes from industries. And now in countries that have the most number of industries, it obviously means that those countries are developed. It is a very obvious fact that developed countries have contributed enough to the world. Is that not enough penalty? They have given us big technologies which we are using in our day-to-day lives. They might cause pollutions. Countries having a low population, citizens may be polluting a lot more, contributing a lot more to climate change and global issues, would not be forced at all to pay penalties. Sounds unfair, right? Put yourself in that situation and it will sound unfair. Next, moving on, let me tell you that penalizing countries today that are contributing to environmental pollution is not a solution for a cleaner and greener tomorrow. Most of the countries they still use fossil fuels such as petroleum, coal, etc., since they do not have access to more cheaper alternatives that will pollute less. Taking the example again of third world countries, African nations, etc. Cheaper
water, which are common natural resources, are as important as money, even if not more. We also live in a so-called industrial world where these same industries and industrial countries ruin the environment every single day, bit by bit. And we also live in a world where these same industries and countries will not fix the problems and will not even admit to the fault. Good morning to one and all present here. I am Orvina Banerjee standing for today's motion that countries which pollute more should pay higher environmental penalties. Now let's start off by analyzing how these industries and industrial countries actually build the environment. Well, the most common example are factories. Factories are the backbone of any industrial field in any country whatsoever. Well, these factories release particulate matter, smoke into the atmosphere and sewage and waste effluents into the water bodies, which not only ruin the air quality index but also ruin the marine biodiversity and cause multiple diseases. Well, let's move.
And where the accidents number is lowering and with the reckless driving is lower. I'm just telling that penalties over the country, it will impose a burden over the citizen, not having a solution and to have a green art away. It is not the ultimate solution.
Thank you.
Yes.
In your speech, you mentioned that penalties will not make the situation any better for those countries. But don't you think that once a country is forced to pay penalties from its own money, it will cause them to rethink the steps they have taken and try to fix the problem which has caused that pollution?
Means you want to say that they are giving the penalty, so they will think that we will not make the pollution. Is it practically you think it is possible?
Obviously.
There are many taxes are imposed over us, which will give better development or better advancement over the net. Is that happen? And one thing you are telling about that some extra.
With penalties. Well, I believe that countries which pollute more should pay fees to an external organization such as the United Nations for their cause pollution. In fact, into the doctrine and the objectives of the United Nations, it is laid down that the member countries, which is 190 plus, should respect the environment and take care of the natural resources. Well, two things actually happen when you pay external fees to an external organization. Number one is that the United Nations, I take this example in this case, the United Nations, they use that money which they have collected from penalties and try to reduce the environmental pollution and the harm caused by these countries. And number two is when these same countries pay penalties, what happens that they recheck the steps they are going through and they check their own money and not pay fines. Well, let's move on to the side effects of the pollution caused. Well, I'll take a very common, well-known example, most people know, is that in the 20th century, the Minamata bear disease, that methyl mercury was released into the coast of Japan and from an industry.
So the fair trade actually equalizes whatever penalty that we are talking about. Now, I would like to talk about my third point, that since all the previous speakers talked so huge of accountability, let's just say that these countries are paying the penalties on an annual basis or in such regular intervals. That just gives them the permission, that just gives them an argument that yes, we pay the penalty, we can pollute as much as we want. Think about countries like the USA or China. Those countries can easily pay a hefty amount annually just because they are polluting. Can they not? And they can continue to do the pollution thing and then say that, oh, we are paying penalties, what is the problem? That is not the solution. Like I said earlier, money is not the solution to every problem.
They have given the penalties, so they have the ability to make the pollution, isn't it? And over the years, we have seen that the developing and underdeveloping countries, which are now based on the industrialization, how they will pay that kind of high penalties. This will decrease their developing surges. And over the time, we have looked at these industries are now making some of the revolutions and making a less progress over the pollution. So I don't think that the penalties over the industries and over that countries is not.
But just penalizing entire countries just to reverse pollution, to combat climate change and environmental pollution, the correct and justified way? I think not. And therefore, I stand firmly against today's motion. Good morning, everyone. I am Shantanu Upadhyay, and today I speak against the motion. Firstly, let's talk about the countries that are developing. African countries, Asian countries, even Latin American ones. These countries would not be able to develop if heavy penalties are imposed on them just because they are growing their economy, they are improving their infrastructure. Let's take the example of our country. India, as we know, is one of the fastest growing economies in the world. If we had been penalized since the beginning of the industrial revolutions in our country, this rapid economic growth would not have been possible. Moving on to the second point, I would like to talk about highly populated nations of the world. Nations like our country, India, China, many more African and Asian countries, where citizens, though they do not pollute much individually, are forced to pay penalties, will be forced to pay penalties if imposed, because the net pollution of the country is greater than most. Let's take an example. You are an ordinary citizen. You pollute only as much as required to meet your basic needs and requirements. However, due to the sheer number, the huge population of your country, you are being.
I request Mrs. Tanushree Bhattacharya and Ms. Aishwarya Banerjee to be awarded the certificate. Probably Raj and Avanadar from Vidyasagar Shishu Niketan to please come on the stage. I request Ms. Sneha Shangu and Mr. Shri Maiti to be the certificate. From St. Agnes School. Shall we please come on the stage? I request Mrs. Tanushree Bhattacharya to please and also Aishwarya ma'am to give away the certificate. Now, best speaker, and it goes to Aparna Pala from Vidyasagar Shishu Niketan. I would like to welcome our please come on the stage. I request Ms. Sneha Shangu and Mr. Shri Maiti to be awarded the certificate. The Inter-School Debate Competition 2026 and the winning team is Vidyasagar Shishu Niketan. I request Prabhakuni Raj and Avanadar Pal to once again come on the stage. I request our Honorable Principal Sir Mr. Shotobrata Dubey and also eminent social and cultural activities to Mr. Oshin Bashu to be awarded the certificate.
To the winning team, the first team, and best speaker. So let's declare the result. So I form Dhiti. Participating certificates. Okay, first participating certificates.
For declaring the result, we will first give the participating certificates to the students. From St. Agnes School, I would like to welcome Arun Narayan Banerjee and Ishan Mukherjee. I request Mr. Ashim Basu to declare. Yes, Mr. Ashim Basu and our honorable president to declare. Shanti Ubag.
From second. Has shared all for view of all of us. So okay, before going to the result declaration, so I take this opportunity to share few words. So first of all, we are privileged to get the opportunity to host the All India Inter-School Debate Competition 2026, that is a preliminary stage of category 1, that is classes 11 and 12. Actually, 5-6 earlier when the council zonal office, regional office, that is for Kolkata, we got mail requesting us to host the competition. There were 6 participating schools, but later one participating school, that is from Belva English Medium School and Egra Public School, they have participated. So today there are 3 participating schools, that is St. Agnes School, St. Agnes.
সংবাদ এখনকার মতো এই পর্যন্তই। সঙ্গে থাকুন, দেখতে থাকুন সময় বাংলা।